Think we did. Think we did. Think we did. Oh, it would help, especially for Instagram. It's going. It would help if I put on my microphone. Hey, hey man, how would you spend 100 grand? How would you spend on a TikTok? Okay, all right. So we got TikTok right here. What we got here? We got YouTube. Got YouTube right here. We got Instagram, Facebook over here. Let's get it. Let's go. Guys, hey, black out the fourth, black out the fourth, black out the fourth. Black it out. Black out the fourth. So what are we talking about? Well, you know, this your partner Frankie P. Your partner Frankie P. We're going towards Blackout the Fourth. This is the pre-launch for Blackout the Fourth. What is that? Well, you're saying, Frankie P, what in the world is Blackout the Fourth? Well, just so you know, it's about black empowerment, black economic empowerment. That's all it is. I was talking to a friend of mine, I guess a day or two ago, and we were talking about how all of the companies, and this gave me a list of all of the companies that supported the current administration during the election. Gave me all boom, 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 went down the list, boom, 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 and all of these companies have donated to the what is it before the election? Well, the campaign donated to their campaign, and the reasoning behind giving me that information is so I am aware of where I could and where I should spend my dollars, and it simply makes sense. So I think their mindset was if I share this with Frankie P, maybe we can affect those businesses by not giving our money to those businesses. Makes sense. Makes sense. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? All right. It makes sense. So the money that we receive in and the money that goes out. So here was my question. I said, well, let's say that you want me not to direct my money to these businesses. But on the other hand, on one hand, you don't want me to spend money with them. But then on the second hand, I am spending my dollars. I am going to spend my dollars with these same companies that you're telling me not to. How do I get around that? So one way we thought about getting around that is to come up with a whole list. And if you have a list, if you have any companies, any black companies or affiliated companies that share our values of black empowerment, if you have any of those companies, please put them in the comments below. Share them with us so we can share them with the public. Our whole concept and our whole mindset of Blackout the Fourth is about black economic empowerment, but we must first change how we think internally before we can change anything externally. Come on, I'm gonna say that one more time. Got to say that one more time. I'm gonna say it just a little bit slower. We must change how we think internally before we can change anything externally. So even with this movement, Blackout the Fourth, which I'm telling you, on Blackout the Fourth, we're simply saying, spend your money, value-based spending. Spend your money with black businesses or allied businesses that hold your values. Again, spend money with black businesses or allied businesses that share your values. So what does that do? That begins to get our minds thinking about how our money is directed, where our money is going. I was talking I guess this weekend, and well, I can just tell you for myself. Look, let me just speak for myself. I'm not going to speak for anybody else. Let me just speak for myself. I remember that them having I think I was out in California at that time, that they had First Fridays. Man, I was out in Lowry, Denver, Colorado. Larry, I was at Larry Air Force Base at that time, out in Colorado, and they had Thirsty Thursdays. So I knew on Thirsty Thursdays they had $1. What was it? A pitcher of beer for $1. So all us Marines, man, we would it would be a carload, a couple of carloads of Marines. This carload, that carload. We'll all meet at Thirsties. We only meet at Thirsties on Thursdays, and each one of us would buy a pitcher of beer and set it on the table. And whatever kind you drink, I was an MGD man. Some of them was Coors, like whatever it is. And you have like 10 pitchers of beers just sitting on the tables. We're at the club just having fun, and you can just come back and pour you a bottle, a cup out of any of the pitchers that you want to. If you want to split up, however you wanted to do it. Can you imagine? That's a hangover ready to happen. That's a hangover. That's a hangover just ready to happen. So, but we all knew. Thirsty Thursdays, First Fridays, especially here in the DC area, in the DMV, First Fridays, 2-for-1 drinks. We all know the specials. And what am I saying? We have been programmed to how to spend our money. We're going to the club, we're spending our money. I used to bowl 1,000 years ago. I used to be pretty good, actually. 1,000 years ago, I used to bowl. But I would know on Wednesdays, they're having a league every Thursday, and some of them, every Wednesday, Monday, Wednesdays, whatever day it was. We would bowl on Thursdays. Saturday mornings. But there was already something put into place, and we knew, and our mind was regulated on how to process our bodies to adapt to what it was that we was going to do. And so that's the thing I'm saying about your finances. We need to make sure we adapt our finances. We need to adapt our finances differently so we can get out of the situation that we're in. The reason we go to work is for one reason and one reason only, because they're paying us. Come on now. Let's be honest. The reason we go to work is because they're paying us. We go to work, they pay us enough to show up, and most of the time we do enough not to get fired. All right. Am I lying? Come on. If I'm lying, y'all let me know. Come over here. TikTok, make sure you hit the screen, share the live. Hit it over here on TikTok. Am I lying? Put it in the comments. Am I lying? They pay us just enough to keep showing up, and we do just enough for them not to fire us and let us come back. But that's the exchange. That's the exchange. And so what I would like for us to do, especially as African Americans, is change that narrative, change that mindset to just having enough to having more than enough. We need to change from just having just enough. Man, I can't. I was working at Safeway at this time. I was working at Safeway, and we got paid every Thursday. When you worked at Safeway, you got paid weekly. That was pretty nice. I had to adapt when I went to 2 weeks when I went to the military, and we got paid on the 1st and the 15th. Man, that was a struggle. That was a struggle when I first went in there. I had to make that money stretch, because when you get paid every Thursday, Friday comes, Saturday, next thing you know, it's the middle of the week, you can really get paid again. So the money goes. It seems that you can stretch your money a little longer. When you have 2 weeks in between, man, that second week is a struggle. Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? Somebody, come on, man. Somebody give me an amen down there. Somebody know what I'm talking about. Hey, appreciate you, your brother. Hey, I appreciate the badge, man. Appreciate the badge. But somebody know what I'm talking about. You just making that money, stretching that dollar just enough, just to get you by into payday. Been there, done that. And it's time for us to get out of that mindset and start something new. So what are we going to do? Like I said, we're building up to Blackout the 4th, which is about Black economic empowerment. This is the setup. On the 3rd of July, we are going to direct our funds. On the 3rd of July, we are going to direct our funds to the businesses, Black or allied businesses. We're going to direct those funds that day to those businesses. We spend $2.6 billion a day. Can you imagine? Come on, man. Look, let's just think about that. If we could direct $2.6 billion, it may not be a big splash, but what we're trying to do is we're trying to Just like Thirsty Thursday or First Fridays, we're trying to get our mindset in the right direction. That okay, the fourth is getting ready to come up. I'm not spending any money. The fourth is getting ready to come up, and that's why we call it blackout the fourth. The fourth is getting ready to come up. I'm not spending any money. I am directing my money value-based spending. I am directing my dollars to the businesses that are aligned with me and my values and what I believe. Okay, that's what it's about. On the 3rd of July, direct your funds. I keep saying this and I keep preaching this. We have a lot of and you have a lot of people on YouTube, content creators, whether they're on YouTube, whether they're on TikTok. You have people who are creating content for you. Go ahead and bless them. Go ahead and bless them. That's the day. The 3rd, bless them. Bless your folk. Black media, bless them. They need the money. They need the money. Because I know when I grew up, we had 4, 5, 7, 9, channel 20. We had 5 stations. And then if you had the antenna, you could probably get 26, which is WETA. Okay. We could probably get 6 stations as we were coming down. And that's all we could have. So what I'm asking you to do now, what I'm encouraging you to do now is just be diligent and be specific about where you're going to spend your dollars. And that's what this blackout the fourth is about. You being specific about where you're going to spend your dollars. You being direct about where you're going to spend your dollars. We're going to empower you to what is it when you don't have to think about it? I can't even think of the word now. But when you don't have to think about it, it's just done subconsciously. On the fourth, not spending any money. And I'm telling you, we can affect an whole economy a trickle at a time. $2.6 billion. Come on now. Invite user as a guest. I'm gonna invite you up. Let me see. I'll invite you up. See if that comes up. I'll see. I don't know how to do it. I'm trying to invite you up. Well, it's not allowing me to bring you up. I tried to bring you up, user 717. But if you have a question, put it down in the chat, and I'll see if I can get to it, and then I can answer it directly for you. But so we got to change internally. We have to change our mind internally on where our dollars are going to go. So if we could just imagine this, if we could every 4th of the month, July, August, September, October, November, we could affect the economy, and then they would come to us and say, man, which I need. Because we are in the way our economy works, it works on transactions. When you spend $1 or I spend $1, somebody else makes $1. If you keep your $1, nobody makes $1. The GDP becomes stagnant. If we all held our money and put it into our savings, so we're going to get there second. But first, the first thing we have to do is get into the mindset that, hey, we're going to save our money. We're going to keep our money and we're going to direct our money until you give us what we want. Okay, that's what it's about. We're directing our money on where we're going to go, and you're going to give us what we want, or we're not going to spend our dollars with you. When you spend your money with Black or allied businesses, and this is happening, I'm just going to be totally transparent, totally honest. This happens. Sometimes they don't give us the best service. Hello. Come on. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes we don't get the best service. All right? So what am I encouraging you to do then? If that's the case, if they don't give us the service that we require, that we demand, that we should definitely have to have, what I would say is don't go on to Google and put a report. What I'm going to suggest is speak to owners, because if we're having the businesses who look like us, it's probably a smaller business. 95% of our businesses don't only have 1 employee. So if it's more than 3 or 4 or 5, 6 employees, they're in the top 5% of African-American businesses. Send a note to the owner. Send a note to the owner, and I guarantee you, especially if it was my business, I'm reaching back out to you. Hey, how you doing? How you doing, Mr. Jones? What's going on? No, I'm not going like that. But how you doing, Mr. Jones? This is Frank Purcell. I see you visited us and you didn't have a great experience. Can you tell me about your experience? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Got it. And first of all, allow me to apologize to you. Allow me to apologize first and foremost for the experience. And I'm telling you, we're going to work on that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to speak to my employee. We're going to have some training based on your recommendation. And when you come back in, please, you can ask for me. My name is Frank. Ask for me so I can meet you face to face, eye to eye, and we can see each other and we can have a discussion and I can shake your hand and tell you how much I appreciate you. Boom. That's it. Because you're going to have challenges in your business. You're going to have challenges in your business almost every day. But it's the way you handle those, the way you handle those challenges is going to decide whether your business grows or whether they come back again. So if they're coming to you and they have a challenge, if they had a bad experience with your business, please don't get defensive. Don't get defensive and drive your customer away. And then they will put a report on there. And when it goes on the internet, it lives for a long time. But if you head it off right there, you listen to both sides, and that's my management style. My management style is I'm going to listen to you, and then I'm going to discuss it with my employer and my employee, and we're going to come to a conclusion that, hey, this is how we need to handle that next time. It's not that the customer was right or you're wrong, but this is how we're going to handle it the next time this arises, so the customer doesn't feel whatever it is that they felt, because they felt a certain way. Whatever it is that they felt a certain way for a certain reason, and we're going to make sure that they don't feel that way again. Okay? So that's understanding the psychology on how to change yourself psychologically. So, but we're going to jump into this. We're doing a case study. I'm running my mouth. So, but let's jump into this. Remember to black out the fourth. Before we even jump into the case study, you can head over to www.blackoutthefourth. That's blackout the number 4th, the fourth.com. We're going to take the pledge that you are going to have value-based spending and you're going to direct your spending intently. You're going to have an intentional spending on the 3rd of July. The 4th of July, you're not going to spend your money at all. But on the 4th of July, on the 3rd of July, you're going to have intentional spending based on the values. On the 4th of July, you're not going to spend. And if we can continue this and keep this up, I guarantee you, we will we'll get some traction. We'll get some traction. They'll begin to listen to us. So we're looking at this case study. Okay, so we have a young single parent, and he's 37 years old. Here are the numbers. Remember the DIME, D-I-M-E, debt, income, miscellaneous expenses. So let's go over that first. He makes $120,000 a year before taxes. After taxes, that means he's bringing home $6,790 per month. That's how much. So he's paying 32. Looks like he's paying 32% of his income in taxes. He's bringing home 68% of his income. We have debts. The debt is an automobile, which is $425. He owes $17,425 left, which is 3 years and 5 months. So that's 41 months. He has 41 months left to pay the vehicle off. Miscellaneous expenses, $400 per month. Then the expenses, right? His miscellaneous are $400, but his expenses, which I'm gonna run those down. His rent is $2,395 per month. Utilities, the utilities are $250 per month. Child care is $1,050 per month. Groceries are $450 per month. Internet, $90 per month. I don't know, is that good? Is that bad? I think I have the Fire Stick or something that you got to pay for a year. And I have Sling. I mean, I'm just telling you, I have Sling, and I watch it on my phone, and I think it goes onto the TV, and I watch. So I do have Sling. Um, his gasoline is $150 per month. Subscriptions didn't break it down, but the subscriptions are $182 a month, and he's putting away $350 a month for savings. That's a total of $4,917, which is going to leave him um, cash flow of $1,048 right now. So the first thing we'll do is we want to tackle our debt. The first thing we want to do is tackle our debt. In his particular case, he only has that he sent to me for this particular case study. He only has one debt of the car, $425 a month, $17,000 total, 3 years and 5 months. So what can we do to, first of all, get that down? So our tool that we use, and listen, and if you've heard me, you heard this before, the tool that we use is a line of credit. Whether it's a business line of credit, so you could use a credit card as a line of credit. Well, if you can't get a line of credit, you use a credit card. But a personal line of credit, a business line of credit, or a HELOC, which is a home equity line of credit. So you have those three. If you can't, sometimes you can use a credit card, and that'll work also. So line of credit, we're going to get a line of credit. Here's a line of credit of $10,000. That's a line of credit. So of that $10,000, he hasn't used it yet. There's nothing on it because if so, it would be in the debts. So what we're going to do is we're going to take $6,000 line of credit. Now you say, well, he has $17,000 owed on his vehicle. Why are we taking $6,000? And the reason is because the formula that we use is we take your cash flow, which is in his particular case is $1,048. We multiply that by 6. And that is the maximum that, based on how I particularly kind of guide you and coach you to utilize so you can pay this off within 6 months. Okay, so we have a $1,000 line of credit cash flow. I mean, we have a $6,000. We're getting a $6,000 line of credit because we have $1,000 per month cash flow after all of the bills are paid, miscellaneous paid, expenses paid, his savings paid. He took care of everything. $1,000 that that he can utilize. So we're going to utilize that, and what that does is that allows us to pay that $6,000 off in 6 months because we have $1,000 per month additional cash flow, which takes that line of credit down $1,000 per month. So that $6,000 we initially sent to the auto as a payment, now that goes down to $11,425 immediately. But we're going to take that. And I came up with another analogy. I'm going to share it with you probably on another video on what we're actually technically doing. But we're going to take that $6,000. It's going to come off the car from 17 down to 11, and then we're going to pay that line of credit off month by month by month with our additional cash flow, because we've taken into consideration everything that you want to do, or into this particular reason, everything that he wants to do with him as a single parent. That is down 6 months. 6 months later, we take another chunk of $6,000 line of credit and we put it to the vehicle again. By this time, if he's paid $425 times 6, let me get my trusty dusty calculator out here. Let's see here. Let's see, we got 425 times 6. So that's another $2,550. So $2,500. So instead of having the 425, that's gonna be $9,000. He'll have $9,000 remaining on that because he's still paying his auto loan of $425 per month. But he's on the line of credit that is coming down $1,000 per month because that's how much extra he has per month. So at the end of that 6 months, we take another $6,000 and we put it towards this payment. So that takes us from $9,000 down to $3,000. left on that car. 6 months is going to take us to pay. It's going to take us 6 months to pay that line of credit off. That's going to come down. Continue to come down. So now we're into it for 1 year. And in 1 year, because we're down from $3,000, continue to make your $425 payment, and now you have $1,000 left, a little bit over $1,000 left to pay, to finish paying your car off. So now that 3 years, which was 41 months, now you've taken that down to 12 or 13 months. Okay? I'll go over it again, but because I know the numbers, the numbers that are coming at you. If you don't understand it, send me a DM. We'll go over it step by step, probably, and we can utilize your numbers for yourself. All right. But so what we did on his debt, $17,000 of debt, we took a $6,000 line of credit, boom, put it to it. That leaves us with $11,000. We have $1,000 left over. We have $1,000 left over after everything's said and done. After we've paid all our bills, paid all of our obligations, miscellaneous expenses, everything that we want to do, we have $1,000 left over. We're utilizing that $1,000 to bring down the line of credit $1,000 a month at a time. Brings it down to $6,000. That $6,000 is gone. While we're doing that, we're still making our auto payment of $425. So that brings us from the $11,000 down to $9,000 because we're $2,000 more payments more that we've made. So now that's $9,000. 6 months later, we take another line of credit of $6,000 and we're chunking it down on the vehicle. That leaves a $3,000 balance, right? $3,000 balance. And it's going to take us 6 more months to chunk that $6,000 away. So now we're in it for 12 months, which is 1 year, and we have $3,000 left over. But it's not $3,000 because you still have been making $425 per month, which is $2,000. Now you only owe $1,000, maybe about $1,500 left on the vehicle. So 41 months down to 13 months. And all we did was change where our money, the flow of our money, of where it was going. So instead of sitting in our bank account, $1,000 sitting in our savings account, making this 0.12, I don't even know what it is now. Instead of it sitting in our savings account or our checking account, now we're utilizing that money to get that automobile paid off. And in 13 months, it's done. And so now he has an additional $1,473 of cash flow that he can begin to now look at investing. Okay, now he can use that $1,400 a month and start some investments. Whether it's a ETF, ETF, whether it's crypto, whether it's stocks, whether it's mutual funds, whatever it is that he wants to, he wants to do real estate investing. But now he has some positive cash flow and he has some teeth now that he can grab onto and he can start investing. Want to change his mindset. The first thing we have to do is change the mindset of I just have to spend and I got to sit my money here in the savings because the banks already know how to get over on us. The banks know how to get over on us and they're teaching us and we've been taught our whole life, leave our money in the bank. I remember to open up my first bank account. I think I was 14 or 15 years old. My father took me down there, helped me put $100 in there into my bank account. I thought I was rich too. But that's all I knew was whenever I got paid, I took my money to the credit union, and because he opened me up at Money One Federal Credit Union. Took my money to the credit union. I took my check. There wasn't no direct deposit. I would drive up there and I would sign over and put my money into the checking or savings account. Write the checks out. Have to split. I would physically have to do this. Put my money. Then I would see how much it was going to cost me per month. I would add it up in my mind, and then I would take the other part, put it into a savings, and then I just have enough left in my checking account to write my checks out. And I might have been at that particular time when I started working, because we started the account when I was maybe 14 or 15. By the time I'm started working, money's going in, money's coming out, and I'm taking control of it. Then I can see how my money was separated. I had to come up with some type of system because it was killing me. It was killing me. I'm like, why am I always broke? Why? Why am I always broke? I couldn't figure it out. So I had to devise a system to make sure that I wasn't broke, and I would put all of my bills, I wrote them all down. I was in my early 20s. I wrote all my bills down. Blah, 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 blah. And again, like I said, I was working at Safeway, so I got paid every week. And I would say all of this divided by 4. So now I need, from every check, this amount stays in here, this amount I can put over here, and I can have fun. I'm doing this all in my mind. I'm doing it all in my mind because I didn't have enough money at the end of the month. I didn't have enough. When I bought my first house, I think I maybe was 23, something like maybe 23, 24 years old. And after the first year, I struggled so hard. After the first year of being in that house and looking at my bank account, after 1 year, I had $102. Guys, I had $102 in my savings account after the first year. And I walked into my house because I was working nights. I woke up, walked into my house, put the key in there. I stood in my living room. And at that time, I had one sofa, one love seat, one TV, a table with 2 chairs, had a round table with 2 chairs, one pot, one pan. I didn't even have a 4-pack that I could invite people over. You know, I'm cooking honey hamburger helper, getting me some of those fried, some of the frozen vegetables. Whatever I needed to do to survive. That's how I was able to do it. And after 1 year, I had that $100. I said, man, I'm working my fingers to the bone. Had $100. I cried like a baby. I stood there. I stood like right in the living room at my house, at my first house, and I just stood there and cried like a baby. Like, I don't know what to do. I didn't have any answers. So I did the one thing that I knew that most of us would do anyway, is take on a second job to try to bring in more income. Now my body is breaking down on me because I'm working 8 hours at night, getting off of work, coming home, sleeping for 2 hours, getting back on the train, going up to Northwest, up by the National Zoo, working another 8 hours up there, getting off, riding the train back down, have an hour and a half, 2 hours on the back end. I think I was averaging maybe 4 hours of sleep, but 2 hours on each end. And it was taking a toll. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. So that started me on my journey to trying to look at investment properties. You know, reading those books. And then because what I did at that time, I decided I didn't have anything to lose. I had nothing to lose. So I would read the books on how to purchase properties with no money down. Read all the books. And I had one, I might not have had all the smarts in the world, but I had heart. But I had heart. If I have anything else, I had heart. So I'm going knocking door to door. How you doing? My name is Frank Purcell. I'm new to the area. I just wanted to know, do you know anyone who's looking to sell their house? Remember, I'm working nights at Safeway, so I'm probably dressed kind of like this, hoodies or whatever. So I go home, take me a little nap, wake up, throw me some khakis on, a little button-up shirt, my tie, got a clipboard, and I'm going up there. Yes. How you doing? My name is Frank Purcell. I'm just wondering if you do anyone who is looking to sell their house in the area. No, I don't. Going door to door. One door I get to, I was in Northeast DC. Hey, how you doing? My name is Frank Purcell. I was wondering did you know anyone who may be looking to sell their house? You know, my neighbor across the street, they were talking about that just a couple of weeks ago. You don't say. You don't say, huh? What are their names? Wrote their name down. I walk on over there, knock on the door, introduce myself again. How you doing? Just spoke to your neighbor. Your neighbor told me that you may be open to selling your house. I'm not sure, but I'm just coming to ask the question. So the lady tells me, yeah, we want to go to North Carolina. I was like, okay. So let me share this story with you. Hold on, I got to share this story with you. I have to share this story with you. This is my first real estate deal. I didn't read all the books, so the concept, I understand all of the concepts, and I got the concepts down. It's just the practical application. It's like learning how to play golf. You know, you read all the books and it tells you about the backswing and the kicking up and keeping your hip down, and I had all that down. I had it down. You gave me the book. I can tell you everything you're supposed to do, but I had never knocked on the door. So on this particular day, I'm decided to knock on the door, and I ask her the one important question. And the one thing I did learn through the books is the first person who says a number always loses the negotiation. So never give the first number. And that I did learn. So I'm asking, how much were you looking for the house? And she tells me, I think it was 30,000. I think it was 40,000. She told me it was 40,000. She was looking for 40,000. I was like, okay. Didn't flinch. But in the back of my mind, I'm sweating. I'm like, in the world, I don't have $40,000. I got $101. I got $101 in my bank account. Who in the world am I going to get $40,000 from? Right? I'm like, I don't have $40,000. Maybe I can ask somebody for the $40,000. So inside, if you read any of the no money down books, any of the real estate books, they'll tell you find the deal and the money will come. Find the deal, and I'm believing everything I'm reading. I'm just believing. You tell it to me, I'm believing. Okay, the money's going to come. I'm just going to find the deal. I don't have a dime in my pocket. I got $101. So I'm going to find the deal. I find the deal. Excuse me. I find the deal. I come on back. I'm trying to, figure out where I'm going to get this money from. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I skipped a part. So they told me 40,000. So, but she told me her husband will be back. He's at work. He'll be back that afternoon. Boom. Cool beans, baby. Let me come back. I went home, took my nap because I'm working at night. Took my nap, got back up later in the afternoon, come back, knock on the door. He knows who hey, my wife told me you came over earlier and you were coming back this afternoon. Man, I appreciate you coming back. And come on in. Walk me around the house. I'm looking at it. Don't know what the hell I'm looking at. I don't know what I'm looking at. I'm like, okay. And then I did learn this too. Just say, and they don't know what you're talking about, and you don't know what you're talking about either. They're trying to guess. They're guessing just as much as you're guessing on what that means. And I was like, okay. So when's the last time the roof was replaced? I knew to ask that question because most people, they don't look at their roofs often. Some of them don't even know when the last time they changed the roof. So I knew that was one aspect that I could talk about. The bedrooms, the roof. Okay, wow. So how much are you asking? Now remember, the wife told me in the morning $40,000. She told me 40 grand. The afternoon, I'm coming back about 4 or 5 o'clock. I'm talking to the husband. He tells me $20,000. He tells me, oh, we're just looking to leave to go to North Carolina. We'll take $20,000. I'm like, ho. I'm not telling him this. But I'm thinking, in the morning, y'all tell me $40,000. In the evening, you're telling me $20,000. That's a $20,000 difference. That's a $20,000 difference. I don't know a whole lot. I'm not the brightest tool in the box, but I know $20,000. I can count $20,000. I knew that difference. So I get going write the contract, bring the contract back to him, and I say, look, okay, I know you will accept 20. And we both know it because you've told that out your mouth. But let's just be fair with each other. And let's do the contract for $30,000. So we did the contract for $30,000. Still not knowing what in the world I'm doing. But I wrote a contract for $30,000. Don't know what I'm doing. Don't know where I'm going to get the money from or anything. Get the contract. I take it up to the title company. And the title company starts doing all of their research. And they call me about a week later telling me we got a clean title. We clear the close. We got a closing date. What day do we want to close? I'm like, okay, I don't have any money. I don't have money. So I go out and I start looking for buyers. I begin looking for buyers for this home. Now remember, I have a contract for $30,000. Now I'm looking for a buyer for the house. And the buyer, I'm selling the house to him. I'm selling for $50,000. They told me 30. I'm selling it for 50. Don't know if it's good. Don't know if it's bad. So all I'm doing is sending my buyer to the person who gives the loan officer, to get a $50,000 loan. So in my mind, At that particular time, you could do what's called a dry settlement, meaning if he had funds that were sourced, I didn't have to have funds to close. I could utilize his funds to close. So he would have 50, excuse me, I would give them 30, the 20 would go to my account. I'm like, man, I don't know what in the world I'm doing. I'm getting ready to make 20 grand. I don't know what in the world I'm doing, but I'm getting ready to make $20,000. I'm like, okay, this is easy. This is better. This is easier than reading a book. So go to closing. We were starting to go to closing. I'm calling the buyer. I'm calling the seller. I'm calling the buyer. Because I already hooked the buyer up with a loan officer so he can get a loan to buy the property. So it comes about a week and a half close before closing. The title company's calling me. We have a closing date. When are you ready to close? Calling the buyer to find out what's happening on his end. Calling the seller. Neither one of them picking up. I'm like, what in the world is happening? I don't know what's going on. Reach out to one of my mentors, and they said, well, Frank, this is what you need to do. Take the contract, take it down to the DC recording office and record your contract. So by me recording the contract, it would cloud the title, meaning nothing can happen through the home unless it came through my contract, because my contract, just like I did a title search, they did a title search for me. Anyone wanting to purchase the house, they would see that I would have a contract on the house and it would have to come through me and I would have to be paid. So I go down there, go to record it. They're like, okay. I was like, well, we can't record it. Can't record it. Can't record it. Why? Tell me, what's happening? Why can't you record this? If you are a real estate investor, you're getting into real estate, remember this one thing, please. This was my $20,000. I want to share with you my $20,000 learning lesson. The one thing that would have made my contract, because we had everything written out, closing date, sale date, earnest money deposit, everything. Earnest money is already given to the title company. We're ready to go. The one thing I didn't have a notarized copy of of the contract. A notarized copy of the contract. If I'd had a notarized copy, I would have been able to move forward with my contract and they wouldn't have been able to do anything. So they just went around me, but they wouldn't have been able to do anything unless they came through me. So lesson learned. If you are a real estate investor and you are not working through a realtor, make sure all of your forms are notarized. That's the one thing I can tell you. Okay? So as we land this plane, again, for Blackout the Fourth, we're learning to change our mindset, of where we're directing our dollars, because this is Black economic empowerment. So first we have to change internally. We're going to change internally before we change anything externally. Internally, we're going to get rid of our debts, and we're going to specifically direct our funds on the 4th of every month. We're not going to spend anything. On the 3rd of every month, we're going to direct those funds. Now, I'll share with you on another video on how to decipher how much you should and could spend, because I think I came up with a little formula, and I'll share with you that formula. If you want it before the next video, just put it down, send me a direct message, and I'll share with you the formula of how I decide how much I am going to spend and direct to these businesses. And that's what we look for. Just look. We're not saying don't spend your money outside of these businesses. We're just encouraging you to spend these businesses first. Have your first dollars go to these businesses. Go to allied businesses. Businesses that are going to come back and and pour into you. Businesses that have your values. Businesses that are not going to take those dollars and give them to a person who doesn't have your best interest at heart. So do you sometimes have to spend your money there? Let's not be ignorant and say, we can never do anything, because we have to. We live in an economy that we do have to open ourselves up and buy some places that we don't always want to spend our money. But we can direct those first dollars into the circle and direct it into the values and to businesses that have our values. Okay, does it make sense? That's what we want to do. Cool, cool. Hey, let me give a shout out. I love Marshall. Marshall. What's up, Marshall? What's up, Marshall? Let's see what we got over here. Tracy, Kanisha, Apostle Gloria. Hello, Apostle. Omari. I hope I pronounced that right. Tedwa. T-Bone. What's going on, T-Bone? I see you. Morris Hilton. Don. All right. Hey, what's going on, guys? I appreciate y'all hopping on and taking a minute. Again, your most precious commodity, which is your time. I totally appreciate you spending it with me. So, covered the covered the debts, on how to get out of debts. So we covered that case study. Talked about the fourth, making sure that we let's go over to, again, on this video, hit the like and subscribe button, share it with someone if you got any value, someone who may can utilize this. If you got any value, share it with them. If you're on YouTube, it helps you with the algorithm. It keeps the algorithm going, and we can reach more people. We can share this message on Blackout the Fourth. Let me bring this up here. There you go, on Blackout the Fourth, right there. If you're on YouTube, hopefully you can see that. I think you can see it if you're on YouTube. That's Blackout the Fourth. Head on over there, make the pledge that you are going to direct your funds on the 3rd of July, and you're not going to spend any money on the 4th of July. Okay? www.blackoutthefourth.com. It's your partner, Frankie P. If you got any questions, hey, please feel free to put it down in the messages. Direct message me. Okay? Remember, when you change your perspective, you change your life. When you change your perspective, you change your life. When you change your perspective, you get out of debt. You get working internally before we work externally. And guess what's going to happen? You're going to change your life. Peace. All right, guys. And let me stop this over here. Stop this YouTube. Finish it up.